haircut. All right, moment of truth. I believe this is like a military haircut from this perspective. Looks like I went way too short. Wires, look at this chaos. All right, here we go. Good morning to all. I believe that I figured out the buffering streaming issue from Thursday's show. I apologize for that. I'm an idiot. Like it'd be so easy. I wrote this in my notes too. It'd be so easy to come on here and give a big speech about how it was technology's fault. My in-laws are here. I could blame it on them. I could blame it on any number of people. I don't believe in that. I believe in being honest. I have 2 computers, 2 laptops, one of which it's a PC I don't know as well. I'm much better with the Macs. And when I plug in the Ethernet cord, I have no idea how to switch from Ethernet to wireless or wireless to Ethernet. I think I figured it out. So that was the problem. Just pure human idiocy. In the event something like that happens again, and it probably will, knowing who the user is, I'll always put the picks in the chat. That's what I tried to do on Thursday. Like, as I'm looking at this, realizing the stream's not working, I just start firing off the bets so you can still see them. And if you reach out to me on Twitter, like a bunch of you did, I'm happy to give them to you there as well. So either way, just reach out to me. If you can't find them, my DMs are open on Twitter. You can just go directly to me on which it looks like it's buffering right now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable if that happens again. I'm going to turn off the phone, which shouldn't matter because I'm not using the Wi-Fi anyway. All right. Stay calm, Fortenbaugh. Big day. Lot to get to. So a couple reminders. Number 1, the next stream we do will be this afternoon. It will be at the conclusion of the last afternoon game. Saints, Chiefs, whatever it may be. When the last game goes final, we go live to preview Sunday Night Football. Browns, Giants. I think that got flexed in too. That's a rough flexing. So keep that in mind. And then the next stream will be tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, as we do every Monday to get ready for Monday Night Football, which I believe we're only going to have one more after this. So we'll probably do what we did last season. We'll incorporate some Saturday streams, some bowl game streams. I'll give the update in the description of this video. I always put when the next stream is going to be. You can always reach out to me on Twitter. So that gives you an idea. I see a lot of people have jokes today. About the connection. Good for all of you. You should have a good sense of humor. That was pathetic, not being able to hook that up. So the recap figures, when the video doesn't work, the picks are fantastic. So maybe I should sabotage this video as well. We gave out 6. We won with the Chargers plus 3.5. We won with the Chargers team total. We won with Hunter Henry over passing yards. And Alabama first half minus 10. That covered as well. 4 winners. 2 losers. The Oregon USC over did not get there. Nice job, USC. The Pac-12 thinks, just when they think they might have some sort of bizarro outside claim to the playoff, they, in the words of the immortal Stanford Steve, pee down their leg and blow it. And we also lost with Notre Dame. Well-played game from Clemson, especially defensively. That was a fantastic performance. So 4-2, which puts us at 121, 156, and 1 on the season. 35 games under 500. Still terrible overall. See what we can do by Super Bowl time. San Jose State money line was great for me. Congratulations. San Jose State, the most underrated story in sports this year. Without question. Undefeated season. Beat Boise State yesterday in the Mountain West Championship. They had to play on the road for every single game this year because of the California rules and protocols up there. Bravo to the Spartans. Bravo. Preston did ask, was anyone on Clemson? Yeah, he made a great point on Friday. Absolute great point on that one. So let's get to it. We'll start with some of the injuries, courtesy of Adam Schefter. If you've missed any of this, some of the people out today include Alex Smith will not be quarterbacking for Washington. It's going to be Dwayne Haskins. Julio Jones is out again for the Falcons. Deebo Samuel's out for the 49ers. Kenny Golladay, again, fantasy owners. Brutal with Kenny Golladay this season. Damian Harris out for the Patriots. Myles Gaskin out for the Dolphins. Duke Johnson out for Who's he playing for? Texans? Or is he with the Bears now? Doesn't matter. CJ Procise, Kyle Rudolph from Minnesota, the tight end's out. Eric Kendricks, the linebacker from Minnesota, is out. We will talk about Minnesota-Chicago in a bit. Michael Thomas placed on IR. Saints just hoping to have him back for the playoffs. The ankle not getting better. Wyatt Teller, offensive lineman for Cleveland. Daniel Jones for the Giants. We'll talk about that tonight on the Sunday night stream. Devontae Parker for the Dolphins expected to miss this game as well. Cardinals running back Chase Edmonds listed as questionable, plans to play. Matthew Stafford, get a load of this, Lions quarterback. He tore his rib cartilage during last Sunday's loss to the Packers. Despite the torn rib cartilage and the right thumb injuries, questionable for today, he plans to play versus the Titans. Absolutely incredible the amount of abuse that guy has taken throughout his career. I wonder what Stafford's legacy is going to be ultimately down the stretch. And I believe we have done that. So there are the injuries. Now, let's talk some line moves, and then we'll get into picks, and then we'll get into questions. As always, I'll give some nuggets on the line moves. Then we'll do the picks. And if there are any games I didn't cover or any questions you may have, we'll do that at the end. We'll go through all of it. And I love the fact that everyone's just throwing their own bets into the chat as well. Bravo. Like, this shouldn't just be one idiot speaking to people. It should be interactive. Ultimately, that's my dream. So in terms of like being able to do this in a bigger forum where you can have some back and forth. Neither here nor there at the moment. Neither here nor there at the moment. So here we go. Line moves. I'll bring this up. Notes. I prepare for you, the people. All right. Indianapolis and Houston. I'm going to give you the look-ahead line, which is a line that comes out a week in advance. So this was over a week ago these lines came out. And then I'll give you what it's at now. Indy was a 6.5-point favorite. Houston, it's now sitting 7. It got as high as 7.5. And when that happened, Texans money started coming in. I got a little bit on this game that we'll talk about in a bit, so I won't spend much time on it now. Tennessee versus Detroit. The Titans on the look-ahead were an 8.5-point favorite. They are now a 9.5-point favorite. So it has been Titan money. There has also been over money in this game as well. Ryan Tannehill, since he joined the Titans, overs are like 80% since he became their starting quarterback. Incredible how overs cash in Tannehill games. The Rams on the look-ahead line were a 13.5-point favorite against the Jets. The Jets got absolutely annihilated by the Seahawks. That number went up to 17. I saw it get to 17.5, and there was some pushback. So there is some Jets money getting involved at 17.5. Good luck. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. Tampa was a 1.5-point favorite at the Falcons. Tampa beat Minnesota last week. The Falcons lost, I want to say, to the Chargers. They did. They lost to the Chargers. This line's now up to 6.5. 6.5. Remember, no Julio Jones. The Falcons are also going to be down 2 members of their secondary. Darquise Dennard, the corner, and first name starts with an R. He's one of the safeties. I'm blanking. Ricardo Allen, I think. I think it's Ricardo. Not sure if it's Allen. He's out as well. So half the secondary is out for the game. Miami was a 3-point favorite over New England. This one's been on the move. It's as low as -1. It's as low as -1. We have also seen, I got to go back to Tampa, Atlanta. There's been under money coming in on Tampa, Atlanta as well. Sorry about that. It's been New England money that has pushed that thing down to as low as 1. There's still some 1.5s. There's also been a influx of under money. I was talking about that on Daily Wager this morning, so it's probably moving the market. I'm just kidding about that. Down to as low as 40.5. I still see some 41s out there. Let's keep going. Seattle was a 3-point favorite at Washington on the look-ahead line. That is now up to 6.5 at most places. I did see a 7, but it disappeared. Dwayne Haskins getting the start for Alex Smith. Minnesota was a 6.5-point favorite over Chicago. That came back out at 3 and hung at 3 all week. It's been Bears money this morning. It is now down to 2.5. It is off the key number of 3 at a lot of places, down to 2.5. Surprising to me. More on that in a bit. Baltimore was laying 11 against Jacksonville. That's up to 13. There's also been some over money there. Spoiler, I got nothing on that game. Cleveland was laying 3 at the Giants. That is now up to 6.5. A lot of that's based on the news that it won't be Daniel Jones. It'll be Colt McCoy. Also, James Bradbury, very good cornerback for the New York Giants, out for this game as well. Arizona was 6.5 as a favorite against Philly on the look ahead. Still 6.5. That line never budged. There's been some over money in that game, and Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox, half of the Eagles secondary, they're out for that game. I'm surprised that there's been no movement. Very rare does a game on a look-ahead line come out and then never move for close to 2 weeks. Never move. Possible sneeze. So unprofessional, but excuse me. Huge that was only 2. I'm usually a good for 5. Rarely I'll get to 6 when it comes to sneezes. Back to business. Kansas City, New Orleans. Kansas City was -3 on the look ahead at New Orleans. Drew Brees is coming back for this game. The game at one point got as high as 3.5. It's down to 3. If you're interested in this game, I'll tell you this. Thank you for all of you that said bless you. Abby, Jason, you're beautiful human beings. This is more likely to go to Kansas City -2.5 than it is 3.5. That's the direction it's trending right now. Keep your eye on that. So if you like the Chiefs, wait. If you like the Saints, you might want to make a play soon. Make sure you get that 3 points. And then, wow, look at this. This is all happening right now. And I guess I see the chat talking about Ezekiel Elliott. The Niners were a 3-point favorite, 2.5-point favorite on the look ahead against Dallas. They're hosting that game, but it is in Arizona before. So it crossed through the key number 3, and they are now laying 4. So there we go. Smash that like button. Yeah, smash the like button and also subscribe. We're over 200 subscribers. If we can get to 1,000, I can go back to using my phone and my iPad, which would be huge for buffering issues. Seriously, if we want to eliminate the buffering problems we've had on this thing, help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and I can go back to using the iPad, and life will be easy. That's what we used to do. So purely out of selfish motivations of my heart, subscribe. Okay. So that's the line moves. Let's go through some games, and then we can take some questions. So 7 picks coming your way. Bonus. One of them is a college basketball pick. I have no notes on it. I'm just giving you the pick because it was passed along to me by someone that I like and trust. Speaking of which, I think I may have been reached out by that person. Boom. Okay. So here we go. Game number 1. It's New England +1.5. There are still some 1.5s out there. +1.5. If you have one, I would take it at 1 as well. We are playing the Patriots today for a handful of reasons. Belichick's had 10 days to get ready for this game. Last we saw of New England, they were playing on a Thursday night, and they were getting smashed by the Los Angeles Rams. So they're off a loss, and they've got 10 days to get ready. So a nice little advantage there. In addition, Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks. If you haven't heard a lot about this, you will by kickoff or during that game today. So the last time Bill Belichick lost a game to a rookie quarterback was in 2012 against some guy named Russell Wilson. Seriously, that's the last rookie to beat Bill Belichick. Since then, he's 11-0. 11 straight wins against rookie quarterbacks, and I believe lifetime he's like 21-5. It's an incredible record. Point is, he knows how to create a complex defense. He knows how to attack rookies. We just saw this a couple weeks ago against Justin Herbert. Now think about what you saw last Thursday night with Herbert against the Raiders. The Raiders are a lousy defense, and they're coached in an average way, I would say. Average. Herbert looked all world. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, slinging the ball everywhere. The only times the Chargers bogged down was when they decided to run the ball or do this stupid wildcat nonsense or whatever. Whenever they took the ball out of Herbert's hands, that's when they slowed down. Meanwhile, if they ever decided to let him throw, they moved at will. That's on Anthony Lynn. Point being that that's what Justin Herbert looked like against a bad defense. Then go back to the week before that against New England when he faced Bill Belichick. They lost 45-0. Herbert threw 2 interceptions with no touchdowns, obviously. His yards per attempt average was under 4, which is unbelievably pathetic. And he had his worst QB rating of the year. Herbert's a good quarterback. This is not a rant against him. I love watching that kid play. He's got a huge future if he gets some good coaching around him. But the point is, against a bad defense like the Raiders, he's going to shine. Against Belichick, he had the worst game of his career. So now enter Tua Tagovailoa, who's going to be down Devontae Parker and Myles Gaskin in this game. He's only made 6 career starts. He's only completing 62% of his passes. He's going up against this Bill Belichick defense, which has had 10 days to prepare. Advantage Patriots. So the point I'm saying is that I don't see Miami scoring a ton of points today, and I like the idea of having New England. Remember, New England doesn't throw the ball a lot. They're number 1 in the NFL in rushing attempts per game. Guess what Miami's weakness is on defense? The run defense. They gave up 75 rushing yards to Cam Newton the first week out. Long time ago, I understand, but that was one of Newton's solid performances, at least from the running game. Miami can defend the pass well. They've got a lot of great corners. New England doesn't want to throw the ball. It plays well into New England's hands. Pick number 1 is the Patriots plus 1.5, which is going to lead right into pick number 2. It's the under in this game. I had it written down at 41.5, but that is no longer there. Apparently the word's out. One of you leaked it. I see some 41s. I see 40.5. We're going to go with 41. All those reasons. I think it is going to be very difficult for these teams to move the football today. That's it. I gave you all the reasons why I don't see Miami moving the ball that well. And quite frankly, I don't see the Patriots slinging the rock all over the place. What worries me with such a low total is the idea of Tua throwing a pick or fumbling, Newton throwing a pick or fumbling, and setting up the short field for the other team to at least get some free points. Kick return, punt return, anytime we're dealing with a total that's sitting around 41 like this, you got to be weary of everything. But these are two teams that rank in the bottom 10 in terms of pace. The Patriots rank 24th in plays per game. The Dolphins rank 27th in plays per game. Translation. Number 1, neither team moves all that fast from the end of the previous play to the start of the next play. Number 2, neither team gets all that many plays off during a game as a result. Patriots love to run the ball. Belichick's very solid against rookie quarterbacks. Patriots defense, or I should say passing offense, is almost non-existent, and the Dolphins do well defending the pass. So we're going under Patriots Dolphins, pick number 2. That's at 41. We're giving that out at 41. I just hit a button for some stupid reason, and that threw everything off. All right. Pick number 3. Oh, I see some of you subscribed. I get the email alert. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Come on. Support your boy. Let's get to 1,000. All right, pick number 3. I am going to lay the 2.5 points with Minnesota against the Chicago Bears. I'm going against the line move here. Let me bring my notes up and keep them coming. I see more subscriptions. More subscription emails are popping up. Keep them coming. People are beautiful. And if you have already subscribed, like Jason has, create thousands more accounts and subscribe through all those accounts. Doesn't matter if it takes weeks out of your life. This is important. I want to stream via my iPad rather than my laptop. All right. Ohio State's not shocking anybody. Not at all. That defense isn't very good. So the look-ahead line in the Minnesota-Chicago game was 6.5. The Vikings were laying 6.5. And then what happened is the Vikings go out and they lose to Tampa Bay. That was one of our picks last week. They go out and they lose to Tampa Bay, somewhat predictable. No surprise. They lost to the Bucs. Bucs were off the bye. Bears go out in a coin flip game and they beat the Texans. They beat them pretty good. Line moves all the way down to 3. And then it moves down to 2.5. Like I said, I'm going against the move. But I think that's way too much of an adjustment. You have to remember, prior to last week against Houston, Chicago had lost 6 straight. They were scoring 19 points per game. And last week against Houston, Mitchell Trubisky had the 4th best quarterback rating that he's produced in 47 career starts. 47 career starts. That was his 4th best quarterback rating. Do we see that happening again? Minnesota's defense hasn't been great, but they're not as bad as Houston's defense. And Cousins has got weapons. Jefferson, Thielen, Kyle Rudolph is out today. They can run with Dalvin Cook. He can catch out of the backfield. And the Bears are down a couple members of their secondary. Bears defense is legit. Don't get me wrong. And with Akeem Hicks there in the center, they should have a decent day anchoring the run against Dalvin Cook. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this got inside of 3. I know the Vikings have some injuries. So do the Bears. I don't know if this is an overreaction from last week, if like all of a sudden the Bears are going to start peaking, but I'm laying the 2.5 with Minnesota. Love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. The people there are fantastic to me. Shout out Mully and Hall on 670 The Score. I've been going on that radio station for 10 years every Friday during football season. I just don't get this line move. I think people saw Minnesota last week and thought they were we knew Minnesota wasn't that great. But Minnesota's better than Chicago, at least marginally. And they're not even laying 3 points. Now that it's under 2.5, I'm all over it. So pick number 3, Minnesota minus 2.5. Number 4, it is going to be the Saints plus 3. I'm going to take the Saints plus 3 against the Chiefs. Getting in the way of Patrick Mahomes, but hear me out on this. So no Michael Thomas today, and Breeze is back, a little bit banged up. Let's start with this. This is Kansas City's 4th road game in 5 weeks. I don't think enough people are talking about that. I think there's a little bit of a wear and tear there sort of thing. So Kansas City hasn't covered a spread in 5 weeks. This is their 4th road game in 5 weeks. The bet here comes down to 2 key elements from the New Orleans standpoint. Number 1, offensively. Drew Brees took a lot of heat, and I was at the forefront of this. I'm not going to run away from it, for being a game manager early in the season, right? So much dink and dunk. That's not necessarily a bad thing here. What we want from Brees isn't to win an 80-point shootout. We just want Brees to move the ball down the field and keep Mahomes on the sidelines. More importantly, we want him to keep the Saints' defense on the sidelines. Brees is better than Hill, at converting 3rd down. I don't care what anyone says. I don't trust Taysom Hill to sustain drives. I don't trust him to make good decisions on 3rd and 6. It's not to say he can't do it, and it's not to say he hasn't done it. I just saw him last week fall behind against Philadelphia, and that's it. You can look at the box score and say, oh, he had some pretty good numbers. They were never really in that game. It looked kind of close, but they trailed pretty much the whole time. They never led. Point is, with Brees, he's going to be able to convert 3rd down. In fact, New Orleans this season is 5th in 3rd down conversions. Kansas City is 20th in 3rd down defense. What I'm getting at here is that if New Orleans is able to move the ball down the field, right? 1st and 10, they pick up 4. 2nd and 6, they pick up 4. 3rd and 2, they pick up the 1st down. Clock keeps moving. Mahomes is on the sidelines. He can't score. Saints defense is on the sidelines. They can't get tired. And you continue to swing the ball in your favor. After all, New Orleans is 2nd in time of possession this season. So that's the key. Offensively, you need to have a team that's not going to just race up and down the field. You don't need to hang 40 on Kansas City to beat them. The Raiders tried to engage them in a shootout. Ultimately, you need some stops. And that's where the New Orleans defense comes into play. This defense is capable of doing what it takes to limit. I'm not going to say stop. I'll never say stop, but limit Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. And that's the ability to generate somewhat consistent pressure, not blitzing, bringing only 4 guys. That way you can drop 7 defenders in the coverage. You can choke out those throwing lanes. If you are able to do that, Mahomes can't march up and down the field at will. He'll still score. I'm not saying Kansas City's going to hang 7 today, but the Saints can generate that pressure without blitzing. They can drop guys in the coverage. They can get some stops. Conversely, with Brees in the lineup, they can convert 3rd down. They can keep that defense and that pass rush rested on the sidelines, as well as keep Mahomes on the sidelines from scoring. And I'm getting 3 points in this game, Saints plus 3. Wouldn't be surprised if they win it outright. Not an indictment of Kansas City. 4 of their last 5 have been on the road, but throwing it out there, I do like the Saints plus 3. And I believe that this game will get to minus 2.5. Kansas City minus 2.5 before it goes to 3.5. So if you like the Saints, make sure you get the 3. If you like Kansas City, you're fading the pitch, taking the ball, have at it. You can wait because 2.5 will come. The 3 will still be there, but 2.5 will come. So there it is. Pick number 4, Saints plus 3. All right. So let's move to 2 teasers and then college basketball play. Teaser number 1, Patriots plus 7.5. Do not tease it if you cannot tease it from 1.5 up to 7.5. Let me make that very, very clear. I see some 1.5s out there. I see 1s. If you only have 1, don't tease up and land on 7. This has to get through 7 to 7.5. That's where we're going. Patriots plus 7.5 for all the reasons I laid out. I see a low-scoring game. The total's been moving down. It's the lowest total on the board this week at 40.5 right now, or 41. Belichick versus rookie quarterbacks. You don't need me to rehash that rant. Number 2, the Colts side of the equation. I'm going to take Indianapolis from 7.5 down to 1.5. So we're crossing through the key number of 7, key number of 4, key number of 3. I see some people in the chat earlier that said they are going to be playing the Texans. I don't think it's the worst play to have the Texans plus 7.5 in this game. Divisional matchup, and we played an angle twice this year where we talked about betting on a team 2 weeks after they had just played a team. Historically, it was like 17-5 against the spread or 17-6. An example, if you're not following, when the Colts and Titans met on that Thursday night, Indy went to Tennessee and beat the Titans. 17 days later, they met in Indianapolis, and the Titans blew them out. It was our best bet of the week. And then after that, we had Atlanta and New Orleans play, and then 2 weeks later, they played again. Now, Atlanta didn't cover, but they had 2 chances late in that game to do it, and Matt Ryan couldn't close the show. Point of that is, you just saw the opponent. 2 weeks later, you have the chance to make the adjustments. History has just been on that side. What the hell is this? My wife, can I sneak into our bathroom and get clothes and my toothbrush? Does anyone mind? Yes. So, anywho, the trend points to that as well here because Houston and Indianapolis just got together 2 weeks ago. So if you're playing Houston, you're playing into that trend. I don't necessarily see that as a problem. A lot of people don't want to lay a ton of points with the Colts. We did it last week. We laid the 3 on the road against the Raiders. A lot of people didn't want to do that. They handled their business. The Colts haven't been pretty. I think Phillip Rivers worries a lot of people, understandably so. They've been solid. Houston ranks 31st in run defense. The Colts want to run the ball, right? They got a great offensive line. They want to run the ball. And if you're able to do that, it sets up Rivers to be in the position he needs to be in. You don't want Rivers throwing 45 times a game. You want to run the ball and play great defense. That's what the Colts are capable of doing. And no Will Fuller for Houston really helps out the Indianapolis defense. So that's where we're going there. Tease number 1 is New England, but only if you get it up to 7.5. And then we're going to take the Colts from 7.5 down to 1.5. And then the final tease of the day before we get to the bonus college basketball pick. Tampa Bay is laying 6.5 at Atlanta. Let me make sure that's still the case. It's not the best teaser on the board, obviously, because we're not going through 7, but I'm going to tease that down to 0.5. Atlanta stinks. There's your analysis. Atlanta stinks. I was not overly impressed. Tampa Bay was our best bet last weekend, and they won and covered. I was not overly impressed with that performance at all. This is not necessarily a play on Tampa. This is a play against the Falcons. They've been awful, and quite frankly, maybe they get up for this game. We just need to win this game. I'll trust Brady and the Buccaneers, especially with 2 starters in the secondary down for Atlanta. I think Tampa can move the ball and score. And if I end up getting that one wrong, I'll live with that. I'll absolutely live with that. We just need to cover 0.5 point. And I'm also matching that up with Seattle, who is a 6.5 point favorite over Washington. I'll bring that down to 0.5 point. I know some people are saying take the 7 with Washington. They play defense. Dwayne Haskins is at quarterback today. All right. Haskins is completing 59% of his passes for his career, which is terrible, with 11 TDs and 10 interceptions. Alex Smith isn't great, but he's exactly what a team with a really good defense needs. Just a smart quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over, who takes what the defense gives him. He's always checking down. We've all made the jokes, average Alex, all that stuff. But he works with a defense like this. Let the defense go win the game. Haskins is the guy that doesn't do that. Haskins is the guy that can go 3 and out in 11 seconds. And if the Washington defense is on the field 35 minutes today, chasing Russell Wilson around, that's going to be a problem. I wouldn't lay the points with Seattle. They got the Rams on deck. And as we've talked about on this stream for 2 years, every Seattle game comes down to 1 score. But if I can tease it from 6.5 down to 0.5, I'm doing that. So that's exactly what's happening there. Final play is Tampa -0.5, tease with Seattle -0.5. So here's your recap of 6, and then you got the bonus 7th play coming up. New England plus 1.5. The Dolphins and Patriots under 41 total points. Minnesota -2.5 over the Bears. New Orleans plus 3 over the Chiefs. 2 teasers now. Indianapolis teased down to 1.5 with the Patriots teased up to 7.5. I am not doing this well. Indy -1.5, teased with the Patriots up to 7.5. And then the next teaser, Tampa Bay -0.5, teased with Seattle -0.5. Those are the 6 NFL plays. The bonus bet college play. I should make sure this didn't even start yet. I'm an idiot. I'm hyping this thing up. I don't even know what time this starts. I don't plan on watching it, but I'm going to track it, obviously. It will start at what looks to be 2 p.m. I don't know if this is specific or not. Take the 7 with Oklahoma State at Texas. There's a guy I know. I trust him. He does really well with this stuff. He's on Oklahoma State. He got him at 7.5. I see it at 7 now. I'm playing it at 7. I'm giving it out at 7. Not going to tell you who he is, and I don't have any rationale for this. Oklahoma State's pretty solid. I know that there was a game they played this week. I want to say I was on the wrong side of it. Let's take a look. Let's do a little analysis. Just a smidge. Oklahoma State. Come on. College basketball schedule, ESPN. That's how I do it. Really seeing the master at work right now. Really peeling back the curtain. No, they lost to TCU 77-76. Bounce back spot. Maybe a little value because of the loss. Texas is very good. But okay, so that's what we're doing here. So yeah, Okie State plus 7. So that's the 7th pick. Any questions on anything at all? Any questions? Ayuk prop. I didn't really look much at that game. That game looks like it's going to be a damn mess. In fact, what's the afternoon here? I got to go back this. We got, how's this going to start? I got to figure out how I'm going to get my afternoon going. I think I'm going to do mimosas today. So Philly and Arizona, I'm going to get sucked into that one. Oh, it's just Philly and Arizona and Kansas City, New Orleans. Niners and Dallas are on early? Jets and Rams are late. How are the Niners and Dallas and games in Dallas? Idiot. I didn't even realize it. I thought this game was in Arizona. Whatever. Okay. Clearly, I should not be giving out any advice on that game. I haven't even looked at that game all week. So the first thing I'm going to do is admit, Brandon Ayuk, any props, any picks on that game, I am not your person. Kamara props. I don't know. I mean, with Breeze back, I would expect a lot of passes. I'd look to Kamara's over receptions prop. Breeze loves to check it down. Against Kansas City, you're going to be throwing, and you're going to want the ball in his hands with no Michael Thomas. I'd absolutely look at that. Kansas City's defense hasn't been that great this year. Thoughts on Philly, Arizona? I wanted to play Philly plus 6.5. I really did. And then Darius Slay was ruled out with a concussion, as was Avonte Maddox. That's too much of the secondary against DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray. And Murray, with his legs, can buy time for receivers to get open down the field. So I can't play Philadelphia anymore. I don't want to play Arizona. I did look to the over, 49.5. I was considering that. Preston, who I very much respect, who's on Daily Wager with me, he likes the under. So take that for what it's worth. Long term, he's doing a little bit better than me. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of bit. But I look to the over. I think the Cardinals are going to be able to score on this defense. And Philly with Jalen Hurts, they're not in a rush, but I think they're going to be able to move the ball. Anything else? Jalen Hurts prop over under 73. Is that rushing? Man, it's a huge number because he ran for 100 last week against the Saints. But that kind of caught New Orleans by surprise. Look ahead spot to this Kansas City game. There was no real tape on him. New Orleans defense just looked off in that one. Arizona, while they're not as good as New Orleans defense, now has a whole week's worth of tape. They can at least study that. They know this kid's going to run. They're probably going to try to force him to beat him through the air, to be completely honest with you. That's what I'd want. I'd rather have Hurts have to beat me through the air than on the ground. So I would lean to the under on the Jalen Hurts rushing yards. How do you not get a headache with the mimosas? Oh, high-functioning alcoholic. Drink all day. No, just kidding. You do this. Lots of water. Everyone in Vegas says this all the time. I notice this line everywhere I go when I talk to someone here. If I ever buy a drink anywhere, one for you, and what is it? One for I don't know, but it's just everyone always insists you drink 1 glass of water with every alcoholic drink you consume. You know how often you be in the damn restroom? It's insane, but it is the type of thing that'll keep you in good shape. At least like physically not getting too wasted. Chase with the water. Yeah, you got it. All right. Good stuff, everyone. Thank you for coming. Hit that subscribe button if you get a chance. You guys are the best. It looks like we may have solved the buffering issues. So Although I may have mushed myself because with the buffering issues on Thursday, I also had a great week going 4-2. The great irony, I can only win when I can't get the picks out to anybody. It's like a Black Mirror episode, right? If anyone from Black Mirror is watching, you can have that. Credit your boy. All right, I'll see you this afternoon. When the last afternoon game goes final, we'll preview Giants-Browns. Ugh, what a game. That's why they have gambling. Thanks, everybody. Good luck today. You guys are the best. Subscribe. Rate, review.